Hi guys, so this is like my second video of tonight. It's 2:23 a.m. So I'm gonna be reading again from this story by Raya 587. 2012 Raph X Reader Panic Attack. And I'm probably gonna do every single one of these stories except for like the smutty ones. I didn't read them because it felt weird because they're like teenagers, but also they're not real. But I just get weird feelings. So I'm just gonna be reading the ones like, yeah. So this is 2012 Raphael X Reader Panic Attack. Let me just start. You lay on your bed, tears streaming down your eyes, as you sob into your blankets, which were pulled up to your face. You were curled up into a ball, shaking. Mental episodes like this weren't uncommon for you, but they didn't happen every day either. You felt what had actually triggered you. This one was stupid. But here you are, staining your blanket with hot tears. Today's mental lapse was a pile of small stupid things that shouldn't bother you. But when your friends ask if you're hungry and you say yes and they retort with, "Of course you are," or when your assigned partner complains about how much room you take up, you can't just help to get filled with a burning you just can't help but get filled with a burning self-hate. People's cruelty wasn't the only reason you were crying, though. You caught yourself a crush on a horrible, terrible acquaintance for you. They never turned out to be anything substantial. I mean, look at me. I look so ugly. The crushes either never found out you liked them, rejected you, or played you. So you made it your mission to never get one. But when he looked at you, you couldn't deny the butterflies. When he looked at you, you couldn't deny the butterflies, and when he talked to you, you just melted at his super hot accent. You understood him well, as much of a human can, because you've caught feelings for a mutant turtle named Raphael. You had met him after coming home from work. Some thugs jumped you, and you actually held your own against them. However, it was 4 against 1, and you were losing. Raph swooped in and saved you, accidentally revealing his true appearance. Of course you didn't mind. You, most of all people, believed in judgment of character before appearance, and from what you've seen so far, he was an alright guy. Intrigued by your lack of surprise, and now you know he and his brothers existed. He had no choice to bring you home, and the rest is history. You thought about texting the boys on why you didn't make your weekly trip to the lair, but decided against it. You text them in the morning. You had mostly calmed down, now just silent tears rolling down your face. You were about to go to sleep and you heard a soft tap on the window. You had suspicion it was one of the turtles, but it was a real late night. You brushed it off as a bird or something. The tapping began, this time more forceful. You whined. "It's unlocked," you shouted. Your parents had left on a business trip, so you didn't need to worry about waking them up. The window opened and Raph, you blinked a few times. You expected it to be Leo to rant at you for not telling them where you were, or even Mikey try to cheer you up. He climbed in your window, still full yelling at you. What the hell, YN? You jolted up and stood to your feet. What? You know what? Just ghosting us without warning? You could have been kidnapped or worse. His screams were drowned out by your subconsciousness. A trick you have perfected over the years. Your worst fear was coming true. Raph was pissed at you. You've been in this position before. You were shaking slightly, silently. I'm sorry, I need my glasses. I'm trying to read this without my glasses. And it's really hard, so I'm just trying to get my glasses. That's probably why I can't read at night without my glasses. I'm really sorry. Okay, now that I have my glasses on, let's continue. His screams were drowned out by your subconsciousness, a trick you've perfected over the years. Your worst fear was coming true. Ralph was pissed at you. You have been in this position before. You were shaking slightly, tears building back up as you gripped your hands, fidgeting with them. When he finally stopped screaming at you, you tried to respond, but it came out as a panicked sob. I'm sorry. You couldn't stop it. You were shaking badly. And you were drowning in sobs and gasps. You felt your heart beat faster and faster and in your chest. Fuck. Anytime but now, please. Raph rushed towards you, making you flinch, throwing your hands up to protect yourself. He stood frozen, not knowing what was happening. Ryan, what's going on? You were breathing frantically, trying to say anything, but it all came out as whines and gasps. He nodded, looking knowingly. Raph slowly wrapped his arms around you. In return, you clung onto him for dear life, trying to control your breathing. He was softly stroking your hair, whispering to you, "Shh, it's okay, you're safe, see? Your breathing started to slow. Not going to hurt you, see? I'm being really gentle." Your grip on his shoulder relaxed as your breathing returned to normal. You took a step back, hanging your head. I'm sorry for... Raph held his hand up to silence you. I'm sorry, I should have just listened. I shouldn't have just barged in here and started to yell at you. I was worried. Why didn't you tell me you got panic attacks? You sighed. They don't come up as often. The subject never really comes up, and Raph raised an eyebrow, or lack of there. I didn't want to look weak to you. Raph's gaze softened. Dawn gets panic attacks, too. You're not weak for them. It's completely out of your control, and you can't deal with them. You can't deal with some situations. Big deal. You smiled weakly. I'll text you guys next time. I'll text you guys next time. I meant to today. Why didn't you? You went silent. Just busy. Busy crying? I'm not stupid, YN. I saw your eyes before you had the panic attack. Ugh. But I was so damn angry to process it, and you suffered. He looked down, glaring at the floor. Yes, I was crying. Do you want to talk about it? I don't know what to say in this kind of situation. April told me to ask you that, though. You blinked. You doubt he would sit down and actually listen, but you needed to vent. Will you listen? Of course, dipshit. I would. I wouldn't ask if I wasn't up for it. Plus, you listen to me, bitch, all the time. You felt so uncomfortable talking to Raph, if all people about feelings, but surprisingly he was a good listener and promised to bring those who crossed you pain. And promised to bring those who crossed you pain, which made you chuckle. You hugged Raph abruptly. Thanks, Raph. He slowly returned the hug. No problem. So that was it. I'm going to be doing another video, which is Rise Leo X Artist Reader. And then after that, it's going to be Mikey 2012 Mikey X Reader, and then Donnie X Female Reader. Or wait, no, that's the smut. I don't, no. And then it's going to be 2012 X Female Reader, and then so on and so on. So I will be posting that, and later tonight I will go to sleep, I promise.